Is an upset on the horizon today? Who knows, but anything is possible in Super Week. Hello and welcome to VCT Americas. We're coming at you live from the Riot Games Arena right here in Los Angeles, California. Of course, I'm Golden Boy, and here on the desk with us, we have the wonderful Mimi, the incredible Rivington, and joining us for the first time ever, a warm VCT Americas welcome for the former coach of Sentinels and X-Set, it's Psycho!
How's it going, fellas?
How you doing, buddy?
It's happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to have you here. Obviously, your intelligence and what you bring to the table is going to be invaluable today, so we're excited to have you here for the pre-show, buddy.
Of course, I'm excited to shitpost and joke around.
Yeah, always. Well, that's what we do. We don't do any hard-hitting analysis.
You
Why
do that?
would we?
You look like a professional. You're the only professional here, right?
I dress professional,
But
and
he
then tweet
a fool.
absurdly.
Okay, I like that.
He dressed professional, but act a fool.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Anyway, moving on, though. Let's go ahead and talk about what went down our stage yesterday. Because we started the day off with Cloud9 versus NRG in a battle for the title of North America's finest. And Mimi, I have to say, this was an exquisite performance from Cloud9. You couldn't have asked for a better showing from this team. And I think NRG obviously going to be kicking themselves here for this loss, but C9 have to be feeling like they're on Cloud9.
They are. I hate that. I hate you for that.
I get one.
This game started off really good for NRG. Finesse was having some great reads and adaptations on Haven. It looked like they were just going to bowl over the series, but once we got to map number 2, Cloud9 really stepped things up. Their defensive side of Pearl, I think right now, is looking like maybe the best in the league. Their calling is consistently good to be in the right place at the right time, and the retakes were on point throughout this map to shut NRG down. And then we got to the third map, and I mean, Leaf was just leafing all over the place.
He sure was, man. Cloud9 are looking like the strongest team from the NA region right now and really bringing it to the Americas League. So
I have a question for you, though, Psycho. As a as a manager and a coach, like, were you aware of Jake and Rooney, or were they just like two names that kind of just like popped up out of nowhere when you saw them pop up on Cloud9?
Oh, I think they're names we've been hearing for a while, especially
Okay.
Rooney, having been the IGL of Sonics. But to see their just astronomical growth here, and to see them sync up with this Cloud9 squad and do so well is just great to see.
Yeah.
Jake was the guy also that really stepped up yesterday, right?
Yes.
We've been waiting for the big performance from him. And map number 3, he was the guy who closed it out with some of those huge multi-kill rounds.
It was super big. We saw in map 1, Jake had a few flubs, but he was trying to make the plays, right? We heard on the cast that you actually need that out of people. The fans may not like it, but this is what you need to see. Those plays then started to work out for the squad. And our head-to-head for the IGL of the day may not be won by Rooney there, but I'm sure so much was learned, and you got to feel good being able to take down FNS.
100%. You got to feel good about that. You also got to feel good if you're Sentinels, because you're coming into the day thinking maybe, just maybe, this is the one where we could pull off the win. But could MIBR play spoiler? Well, spoilers for you guys at home. No, they don't. Sentinels managed to find a victory here, and it's off the, I don't want to say off the back, because I think everyone played incredibly well, but goodness gracious, the contribution that Marv has made to this team, Psycho, it's clear, like, what he brings to the table as a player.
Oh, absolutely. The Iceman is back, and he looks just as good as ever. What a phenomenal pickup in the offseason. Congrats to whoever made that move. What a stellar brain.
I wonder who did that.
Who would have thought to do
It's so
that?
great
Must be
seeing
really smart.
True. It's so great seeing Mark come in. The roles are making sense. Zekken's fragging out on the duelist. Venkata's still looking great on the Sentinel, and this team is firing on all cylinders and looking better than ever.
They absolutely are. I mean, Marv in particular, just so good as an individual. It's like he never left. All the lurk times he was finding throughout this game were great. And you brought up the roles, but Saucy, ever since he got freed from controller jail, has just been playing out of his mind. It started off in their series last week with some fantastic clutches from him, and now here in the Super Week, he's playing just to that same level. It's been great out of him.
I actually saw Sasi as I was making my way out of the venue today. I always say hi to my bald brother,
Of
I'm
course.
like, hey, yo, man, good game today. I was like, you play like a beast. And he was like, with his book bag, he's walking around. He's like, yeah. I'm playing Initiator. And then just walked away.
He's loving it.
So I was like, okay, so he's obviously feeling comfortable.
I think everybody's happy. Zekken on Duelist looks so much better for the squad. They just really seem to be vibing.
What is it about Marv in particular, Psycho, if you want to go into it? Because I know, obviously, we don't have to beat around the bush here. You're very familiar, with this player. You wanted him on the team. What is it about Marv that makes him so special?
Well, the team was definitely lacking an extremity player, and, Marv is one of the best to ever do it. His ability to hold space, take space on his own, make rapid decisions, communicate to the team, just fills a huge gap that this team has been missing for a while.
You said they were lacking an extremity player. It's crazy now that the two they have is Pencata and Marv, who we were kind of talking about is like best in the world last year on the controller role, on that lurk role.
Yeah. And now they're together, and that is dangerous. Dangerous to see. It's going to be really fun to see this team progress throughout the season here, but we have crossed the midway point of Super Week, which means we have some standings for you. So Loud is going to be in first place with 4-0, but watch out because Leviatán, Furia, C9 are right on their heels. Now, we will see Loud take the stage here today, but when you look at these standings here, Psycho, you know, did you feel like this season played out the way you thought it would?
Oh, you know, after Loud and Leviatán, everything under that is just nowhere near what I expected it to be. You know, I knew Loud were going to come in strong, great showing in lock-in. Leviatán, always a well-disciplined team, well-run team by their coach, but, you know, everything else has been a slugfest. And I always say it, there's no good or bad teams in this league. Everybody can beat anybody on the day. It's just whoever shows up.
Yeah, it's very true. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. And today's game, 100 Thieves versus League.
Or any given
Leviatán.
Monday.
There you go. There you go. We're still going. And there's going to be a Tuesday to this one. Ooh. So, yeah, I'm excited for the games we have today.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure. But, guys, the world's best players take the stage each and every week. And, you know, I'm hoping that something must have rubbed off on our incredible viewers at home. That's why we have a little game called What You Got, where you send us clips of some of your best / more than likely worst plays, and we just review them, and we see what you got. So let's go ahead and check out our first clip. And by the way, these are all clips that you guys sent on Twitter, so thank you so much for that. First up, we have Minerva 4K, and let's go ahead and see what happens here with Minerva, because playing by Hell, looking,
Second. There's the third.
Also, it's 2023. Why is that guy playing Chamber? Okay, sick.
All right. Whoever this Mimi gamer is just looking absolutely
It was
sharp.
definitely me, guys. Definitely.
Was it you, Mimi?
Yeah, it was
You were
definitely
trolling me in rehearsal.
No, it was definitely me.
You're a liar.
Definitely for
No,
sure.
it's definitely me. My in-game name is
not lying at
Mimi,
all.
famously.
Feeding into her lies.
I played Jet. I'm famously a Jet main. That's
right.
And really good. So
Yes.
yeah, that was
You've never inted onto a site ever as Jet, right?
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
You would never do that. He's such a good, wholesome player. Next, we've got an incredible video that shows the power of trigger discipline. Now, let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. Finds a target.
All right, so good patience
Gets
here.
blown up. Still not shooting. Questionable.
Wait to see the next player.
Teammates are playing off him with
Sick
utility,
gun buddy.
erasing. It's nice.
Maybe wants to join the other team. Oh, God. That's a warning shot.
Wait a minute.
He got his.
Hey, he got his.
Like,
And
what
as
more
I
can you
always
ask for?
say, as a professional gaming coach, if you get yours, you've done your job.
Really?
That's the insight we need.
I think that's how that goes.
But that...
I've heard that.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm not going to argue with Psycho Riff. I'm just not going to argue. All right, well, let's go ahead and check out a 4K. There we go. It was a bit of a spray fest here from Jimmy. And, okay, get a little spray down there.
I'm liking this crosshair placement. There's more to shoot at if you aim for the body.
That's right.
This is true. That's a good
See,
one.
he adjusts for the ankles there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was super good.
You know
Okay.
the gun shoots up, so if you aim for the ankles, you just do that.
Oh, yeah.
That was a headshot.
It was all part of the plan.
Also, his
Jimmy's
name's Bot.
crazy. Is that Marv on
It
an
might be
account?
Jimzo right there.
Yeah.
That's the Iceman
Yeah.
himself.
There's a chance.
That's
Okay.
wild. That's
Well,
wild.
next up, this might be my favorite clip. It is a Sage that really just wants to be a team player here.
To the right, turn around.
It's good.
Oh, no.
10 seconds.
So close.
Trying to res the ball.
Oh, dear.
To the right.
Oh, dear.
Here it comes.
Making it.
Oh, dear.
Heal them.
Oh, it was.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
You know, an effort was made to support your teammate, and you really can't ask for more than that. I mean,
That's
how many of
true.
your ranked players are trying to heal or revive you?
And
That's
the
true.
like taking directions, like
Just listening.
Beautiful.
You know what it reminded me of, Riv? It reminded me of the first time you and I played Valorant together when the game first came out. And I was straight up, I swear to God, I was moving and shooting. I came out, I was like, seriously, just trying to shoot. And everyone, Riv's like, that's not how you play the game.
This is not Call of Duty.
That's Halo. Yeah, it's
Honestly,
another
having
game.
a hard support player like that, you don't see that in a lot of teams.
What a guy.
Like, I respect that. Like,
Yeah.
caring about the team effort, time, you don't need that.
Well, I hope you're ready for some real technical gameplay because we got a little lineup Larry here from Shark. And let's see what this clip is.
Good job.
Brimstone, already the best clip.
Already.
Shorty
One
secondary
point A.
buyer, that's pretty big.
Sorry, one
Stim.
point B main.
Stim, utility
Yes,
usage,
right
down.
+1. That's a lot of
100
pings.
jet, 100 evade. Feel like chaos?
The comms are solid. Like this is
Playing.
some high level
Comms
stuff.
good.
Like
Awareness.
damage call-outs,
100
right?
jet, 100 fade.
I mean, my guy sounds like he's talking out of a laptop mic, but beyond that, he's fine.
That's just
All
the
right,
captain
1v3.
of the
Okay.
Let's let him
Okay.
cook.
plane.
Smoke yourself off.
So smoke
Sick.
yourself
Yeah,
up.
there we
Oh,
go.
okay.
God.
All part of the plan.
Yeah.
Ultimate ability action.
Oh
Out comes the Molly.
Questionable early Molly.
I love her. Pushes alone.
That's so
Good one.
annoying.
Picks up the vandal.
Outside,
Smokes
outside.
himself off. Picks it up.
My guy right there. Closing it out for the team.
That lineup was sick.
Ice cold, honestly.
Yeah, I just realized the Jet's name is I Love Her, and then she like went through the smoke and they just got obliterated. That was great. Well, folks, if you have an incredible clip that we need to see, don't know why needs in the prompter, show us what you got. Make sure to use the hashtags VCT Americas as well as VCT. It's just so much easier than sending them over snail mail. You know, I just don't know how you would even send a clip on the internet over the mail. Rib,
Need a big
have you figured it
envelope.
out? Have us boomers figured it out yet, or?
You
gotta,
at
like,
least
go
need
frame by frame.
You know, one of those Manilas. Like,
Yeah.
Manila.
The big ones.
Should have known.
Need
Well,
at least
folks,
8 stamps.
we're going to take a quick siesta, a commercial break, in case you didn't know what that meant. And when we come back, it's going to be Cryo facing off against King. It's 100 Thieves versus Leviatán. As always, we'll see you on the other side.
Your wife's gonna be proud that you're finally learning Spanish.
Thanks.
Patience pays off! Rifle gained a bit of an upgrade, and what is that? They've been able to mow them down! Stellar gets 4, Stellar gets the ace with 1 bullet!
Welcome back to VCT Americas. It's time to get into our first match on this gorgeous Monday. It's 100 Thieves going up against Leviatán. But first, let's go ahead and talk about everyone's favorite NA squad, the creator of the hoodie, some might say. 100 Thieves. Now, of course, to tell the story, though, we have to look back at the 3 maps that this team has played earlier in the week against MIBR, and you'll start to see a story unfold here, Mimi. Isn't that right?
There was kind of an expectation coming into this matchup that, hey, this is 100 Thieves. They've struggled a little thus far, but MIBR is just coming off this crazy stuff. This should be an easy game for them. But the series started out on Ascent, and they were leaning back into a lot of the same problems for 100 Thieves that we've been talking about. These really slow attack-sided mid-rounds that are falling apart and sometimes leaving these gaps. And they really got exploited by Crew in that one. Excuse me, I think I said MIBR in there, but I meant Crew at the end of the day. And this team was playing this composition with no Sentinel, with the Viper instead, which has merit. We've seen other teams play that. Without that Sentinel role, a lot of the time they were leaving these gaps on the attacking side. Crew was able to sneak in, find these flanks, and at times it seemed like a bit of a lack of awareness from some of the players of 100 Thieves. You see there, like, Asuna's trying to spin around and take this fight from a guy who's just full walked out B main.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show, right, Riv, that, like, the composition, you know, sometimes the game can be won or lost at that point because you end up just making a different call.
It's true, especially if you are also a team that's better on one side and have been statistically showing that. 100 Thieves' defense has been so much better than their attack. They just cannot seem to get these strategies together to get themselves in the site with enough people to hold the post plan.
And that improved once they got to the later maps in the series, but Ascent, those issues were continuing to rear their heads. But I think that made the eventual comeback they made in that series all the more impressive.
Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. But let's go ahead, though. Move on to map 2. Let's talk about Split. Because then we got to see the thing that we always love to see. It's Asuna playing the Raze. And Riv, when Asuna plays the Raze, you get good things.
It looked so good, and they really made Asuna the one to go for it. Give him the util, let him move forward. I mean, 100 Thieves is the only one playing the Sentinel, Sage, and Cypher on this map. So they literally just choke their opponent into one spot and let Asuna go crazy on Raze.
And I absolutely love seeing this from 100 Thieves. You know, Cryo, great opper, great jet player, but a bit more of a passive duelist. So get Asuna on the Raze, get him into his flow state, give him some support, and let him break loose.
Yeah, I mean, that is why this player has made a name for himself, right? Like those really legendary plays, like the Bind Rocket 4K, you know, all the way back in the olden days of Valorant. You know, this guy has been really front and center as one of the more premier duelists in the game, and it's nice to see him get that support finally.
But what I walk away from with that game isn't thinking about him as an individual, but him as kind of how they adjust the way that they're playing, particularly their defensive sides with him in the mix. He's very proactive, it seems. When he's playing, you see him talking a ton. Looks like he's calling for utility. They're constantly pivoting these setups to give him the opportunities. And also their split comp played so much better to their strengths. They had the double Sentinel. They weren't giving away those same gaps. And in that, they were allowed to have the Asuna aggression and also some trap plays built off the Cypher. The game plan just seemed a lot more sound. And that's what I want to see from 100 Thieves. There's these maps where they're having a bit more of that structure.
Yeah, couldn't agree more on that one there. And, you know, I think as far as like providing the structure, you also need another key part of that too, and that takes us to map 3, because we have Cryo, who just really let loose and performed. Psycho, you know this better than most. Like the Cryo, we know we've seen in the past. This guy is so good.
He really is, and I think everybody's been waiting to see champion-level Cryo for a while now, and it's just been a matter of getting him comfortable in the system and getting him a little bit more support. We all know that, you know, like Dan said, DDK, when he was up here on the desk for you guys doing a guest segment, Cryo's a much more passive duelist, and that's not to say that he's not a good duelist. It's all about getting him in the right positions to get these first kills, give him the support he needs, help him get in and get out, give you these 5v4 situations so that you can close out more rounds.
Yeah, it feels as if the game, Riv, you know, you have to play to your strength at this point with the way that the Americas format is, because that's the only thing that you really have to fall back on in these 9 weeks.
It's true.
Right?
That actually, now I almost want to direct a question. Sorry to be host. But is it difficult for a team to transition from an aggressive to a passive duelist from game to game? Is that sometimes lost in the condition and you stray away from that win condition for a team?
Yeah, it's definitely easier when your one duelist plays all the duelist roles, because anytime that you're changing players, you know, now Cryo has to go onto the Sage or whatever it is that he's picking up, Omen on the Icebox, right? So you're shuffling things around, and that naturally creates a bit of uneasiness, a bit of chaos, and makes those people less comfortable. But it's not something that can't be done. We did it last year on XSET. Zekken played our Raze maps, and Cryo played the Jet maps. So it's not something new, and it's not even something new for Cryo himself. He's used to being in a situation like this. He's used to picking up other agents to account for his lack of flexibility or to get his most optimized teammates on their best roles.
Yeah. We also did have consistent through lines between map 2 and 3 in the series, and I think that was, again, in the structure that this team was bringing out. They were, again, playing into a composition where they had the Sentinel, where they had a lot more freedom to move around with Cryo on that defensive side that I don't see so much when they're playing on Ascent. A lot of times he'll be, like, stuck anchoring B. His teammates will rotate off before him. It just doesn't feel like he's being set up in the way to succeed. And a player like Cryo, I'm also kind of interested on your thoughts like this. It seems like he's someone who can sometimes need a fair few resources, like on that defensive side, to get to be more proactive.
Definitely, and it's not that he needs it. I mean, he's a great player and he can make plays on his own. But when you provide him that support and you go that extra level, it allows him to take his own gameplay that extra step further and get you that get that extra confidence, that extra support. Make sure that he gets those first picks on defense and sets you up for those man advantage situations.
Yeah, well, you know what though? We actually did get a chance to talk to the man himself, Cryo, about his take on this matchup against Leviatán. Let's go ahead and take a look.
I always thought Leviatán was a really good team, even like back before when we lost to them at Copenhagen. I just think that they're really solid, fundamental, and a lot of all 5 really good players. So really excited to play them.
And as you should, right? In a competition like this, Riv, you want to, it's like the old Ric Flair saying, right? In order to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yeah.
And I think right now, Leviatán, Loud, they have very much established themselves in the Americas region as the man. They are dominating this. So a win here for 100 Thieves could be huge.
It would be huge. I mean, they have Loud Furia to come after this as well in their strength of schedule. So having this win, being able to figure out Loud as well and figure out maybe a little bit of the region in that play style and the aggression and the audacity that they hit with the sights with is going to help 100 Thieves here, because I feel like once they have that momentum, it's good. But if you derail the train, it might take them a little too long to get back on.
For sure.
Like you said, the strength of schedule is really hard. And right now, 100 Thieves is only 2-2. So if they want to meet the expectations that people have for this squad of making playoffs, of being a top competitor within Americas, I think they need to pull one of these wins over a team that's punching above them, like Leviatán, like Furia.
Yeah, and I don't think it's out of the question. You know, Leviatán are a tremendous team, obviously sitting in a firm second place right here. Been playing really well, shown up some exceptional performances against these other teams. But the strength of Leviatán can also be their weakness. They're an exceptionally disciplined and well-structured team, but that structure can be abused. So what we need to see from 100 Thieves is a lot of adaptation, a lot of reading what they're doing and putting them in the back foot and making them react. Don't let them stick to their game plan. Make them play yours.
Yeah, you got to make them uncomfortable.
That's
and
right.
when you do that, that could hopefully lead to some success there. Totally agree with that point there. But let's go ahead, though, and pivot over to 100 Thieves opponents, because we do have Leviatán on the stage taking on 100 Thieves. And, you know, this is a squad that going into Americas, we were hyping up, right? Obviously, everyone was like, Scrimbucks and lock-in, blah, blah, blah. This team's going to pop off. They're going to dominate the scene. And then they show up. They do look great. We get iconic moments, but then they fizzle out toward the end. And that's kind of my concern for this team. I want to see this team close out. And I think like a win here against 100 Thieves cycle could very well set that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is their time to shine. This is their time to show, hey, we are a serious team. We are going to consistently get these wins that we're expected to get. And they're a young team. They have a lot of young players, a younger IGL, but they've been building up slowly this experience, right?
Yeah.
And this experience is now about to pay dividends. If 100 Thieves aren't able to put them on the back foot, if Leviatán are able to play their game plan and execute it fully, then they should be able to take this win home.
Yeah.
They should. And if you look at their strength of schedule, they have one that I think is very winnable for them. 100 Thieves, VG, Crew, C9. I would favor them in all the rest of their games, except for Loud. Not to say they're guaranteed to win them, but they're on really good course to make playoffs, to continue to hold that expectation that we set for them.
And a big thing for Leviatán, I feel like, is they can string rounds together against these teams, and that's one of their biggest things. They're plus 30 in their rounds. It's the most rounds for a team right now, so they have swing games. If they can get the momentum going, they take a ton of rounds.
Yeah.
But if they don't, and they start having a bad game, it doesn't seem like they have the answer for how to get back on that. They only lost by 4 rounds to Furia. Like, those matches are so close that they could be taking. It's just if the momentum's not there, they're not there.
And those matches were very close, but one that wasn't was what we saw earlier with them playing against MIBR.
Right.
And you brought up the structure, the game plan for Leviatán, and in this game, it just worked perfectly. MIBR was not being very proactive whatsoever. Leviatán, I think one of their biggest strengths is their willingness to give space and just play for retake, you know, on their defensive sides. Not just retaking spike sides, but just giving other pieces of space, taking a main, giving up mid, something like that, and being so structured in their re-clears in the mid round. They're fantastic at it, and that's because of that coordination, that practice that this team has together. When they're allowed to play the way that they want, they'll bowl you over like what happened with MIBR.
Absolutely. If they have a game plan, if they're allowed to stick to it, they're gonna.
Yeah, and that is the scary part. If you allow them to stick to their game plan, they will take advantage. And I think that for any team that faces off, as we saw in the strength of schedule, right, they're going to have to be mindful of that. They need to rattle this cage. And 100 Thieves could very well be the team to start that cage rattling this week. But one player, though, on this roster that we haven't really had much of a chance to dive into, and I know I haven't personally spoken about him all that much, is Noswer, right? You know, because I guess, makes him so impactful, Mimi, for this team and creates those opportunities for his squad?
We're in a Harbor Viper meta for so many of these teams, and Leviatán included, picking into that. And in those comps, in the meta, you're often seeing single initiator players. Last year, it was always a Breach and a Sova, tons of utility to set the duelist up, to provide information for your team. But now, a lot of the times, as that Sky, you are all alone, and having the right timings with your utility, not wasting that util too early, and knowing when to use it for info, when to set your teammates up instead, is so incredibly important. And I feel like Naswar does a consistently excellent job of having that correct util usage, which is so important in this meta.
Yeah, the single initiator meta is here. You don't have as many tools at your disposal. You have to be the flasher. You have to be the information gatherer.
Yeah.
It's a lot of expectations just for one player on this roster. And people like Naswar that can pull this off at this level are invaluable.
Yeah, it's so important, bro.
I think people like Naswar, you don't see them until they have games like MIBR, and then you go back and look at their play style, and even in the losses, mid to high fragger, in the good games, still mid to high fragger. He's always been there, just now showing up at the right time.
Yeah, it is going to be such an awesome game, folks. But we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, all right? Because when we come back, we're going to predict. Everyone loves predictions, right? We're going to figure out who we think is going to win this series. It's going to be a good one. 100 Thieves, Leviatán on the other side. We'll see you then. Welcome back, friends. We're moments away from kicking off day 4 of Super Week. So let's go ahead and do some predictions, because everyone loves predictions. All right. By the way, I only want the finest art on this desk, all right? This isn't EMEA and Pacific where we just get away with whatever shenanigans, all right? I'm trying. That's my one burn at EMEA and Pacific. All right, here we go. Predictions.
Okay.
Riff.
Me?
Yeah.
You remember the game Concentration? Probably
No.
nobody does. It's really old.
And they're like from the bus in high. What?
Leviatán. Oh, but it's not a ton. It's done.
It's about the word you're creating. You don't
is
have to
that a
spell
levy?
it.
Show it to the camera. Show it to the camera. It's
So is that like where you take your Chevy to like eat your pie?
It's a levy.
No, it's
Okay.
a levy.
Well, I made for once
Leviatán.
I made a reference that you didn't get.
I
The
dislike
song.
you. All right, Mimi,
know
your
what
turn.
picking.
We have a
It's like
minute left.
classic American.
Mimi, your
Okay.
turn.
You said good art only. This is
Finest art.
great art. Fantastic.
Actually, not bad. Not bad.
Look at that
Okay, we got
logo.
Leviatán.
Beautiful. Leviatán.
Finite only. I've been training under the tutelage of Joel Nagy, only the finest for me.
Yes.
okay?
Oh, I can't wait to see this. Oh, I'm so. What is that?
What do you think?
That looks like
It's good.
a
What do you mean? I spent all morning on this.
I'm talking about fine art.
What
All
the
right,
hell?
it's a dragon shooting water at their opponents.
That's Trogdor?
All right, that's.
That looks like a Team Liquid logo. Looks like a horse.
Look at the detail, right, on the things here. I don't know what this is called.
The texture.
This
the
is
texture.
called How to Train Your GB.
I got an eye as well.
The negative space, the
negative
framing.
space,
Yeah,
exactly.
all of those keywords.
I
I
just
like that
realized
you can't read the text because it's too small.
I just realized that we all just predicted Leviatán. Okay,
Yeah, great
this
job.
should be an interesting one. We'll see how this one boils down, folks. But Super Week continues today with 2 more crucial matches. You're going to see 100 Thieves versus Leviatán, EG versus Loud. VCT America starts right now. This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Everyone was talking about him, and this is going to be the guy to look out for.
Too much Cryo again. Does this guy miss? Does Cryo ever miss? No, he doesn't.
Olha quem é! Escala bem! Faz duplo abate! Vamos, Fogão!
Se acaba tempo e leva!
O último match contra a EG nessa Super Week. É um time que realmente tem jogadores muito bons, muito talentosos.
But traded off by Doggimal. Cleans up more kills around the cove. Forcing out Bucio from the aftershock.
I'm really excited to play against Loud because I do think they're still top 2, top 3 team in the world.
And the Seekers as well. It's a triple push right into the firing line of Loud.
Thieves son un buen equipo, individualmente tienen jugadores muy fuertes.
They've been able to mow them down. Stellar gets forced. Stellar gets the ace with 1 bullet.
I always thought Leviatán was a really good team with solid fundamentals. They did have a few roster changes, but I think they're all 5 really good players.
King le reza al Santísimo. Se cae Shai. Sigue avanzando Martino. A la derecha. Martino. Martino 4K.
Two teams with a lot to prove here. For 100 Thieves, it's about really getting those dubs for that fan base, for that audience that really just wants them to be the absolute best in the world. And for Leviatán, is to continue to prove to the entirety of the Valorant community, the Valorant competitive community, that they are the real freaking deal. This is going to be a banger matchup, Psycho.
It absolutely is. Look at all those 100 Thieves fans out there ready to
parents.
see the show. A little bit of parents.
Does someone already have a Cartman sign? That's just topical. Twitter does something, instant
Okay.
Oh my
reaction.
gosh.
That guy's looking to get a job from Nate Shot. All right,
Yes.
that's what's up. All right, well, we'll see. What we end up getting out of this, I'm so excited for this game, guys, because I really do think maybe that, like, personally, I think I've been hard on this 100 Thieves team because, you know, you see the names on this lineup, you expect greatness, and I know that they expect that of themselves as well, and this could very well be the turning point for them.
I'm sure they do, and I think that win last week, well, it was a little bit scrappy. Those last two maps, it felt like we were finally seeing the 100 Thieves that we have expected for so long. If they can take that, continue that into this match, the rest of the league here, there's still a chance for them to meet the high expectations that they and the fans set for themselves.
And I always like watching 100 Thieves play because they have the double controller comps, they like to stick to their split comps, they always have an idea, and you kind of have to wait for it to come to fruition each game if they can't start off with it right away. So it's been interesting if that type of strategy will work against Leviatán.
Absolutely, and I know we all predicted Leviatán here, but I expect this to be an absolutely scrappy match. If
Let's
this
go.
doesn't go the distance to map 3, I would be extremely
Ladies and gentlemen, the Heineken 0.0 Icebox has been picked.
It has. Love me some Heineken 0.0 Icebox. And 100 Thieves really like this map. They actually haven't played it a lot in Americas thus far, but at Lock-In, I felt this was their strongest map. This is where they play Cryo on Jet, which people thought was weird, but I think it works really well for them. Their retakes on the defensive side are nice, and for Leviatán, their Icebox is not look very good.
Not the
Not
best.
very good. They just stomped MIBR on that map, but the week before, it was a really, really rough game against Furia.
And it could be one of the last times we see Icebox played, right?
Yeah, going out of the pool real soon.
Coming
It might
out.
just be.
That's true.
Haven coming out. Are we going to get the Gecko from Asuna? So we might actually be able to get that play in. That would be really cool to see if they
spicy.
decide to go to it. And a little bit of Lotus.
Yeah, two maps here that are, first off, really strong for 100 Thieves. Second of all, it's one of these maps where 100 Thieves has been innovating, but it's really home turf for Leviatán. Haven has always been the map that we look towards, where this team is consistently fantastic on it. And as we get towards that decider, it'll be Lotus, which is another interesting one. Both these teams have, you know, at times attempted to play it, but 100 Thieves is 0-3 right now.
That's fine art.
Thieves hasn't been working.
It sure is. And I feel like Lotus, you know, is one of these maps where it came out and everybody has immediately picked it up. It's become a stalwart map for the Americas League. Everybody, you know, whether they love it or hate it, they're playing it. It's not getting
That's the
banned.
truth. Well, here we go. Agent Select, Icebox, Heineken 0.0 Icebox is the name of the match. The last time I'm going to say it for today. I just wanted to do it.
Say it again.
Let's see what happens, though. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to get much in the way of, like, you know, change-ups here. Because, you know, and Psycho, you could probably speak to this, right? You're not really trying to counter-strat all that much. You really are trying to focus and play your game.
Oh, absolutely, especially on a map like Icebox where, you know, there's not a whole lot of top-level macro strategy that you can throw in there.
That is true, but it's also going to be against Leviatán with this Harbor Viper, where I feel like they are a team, you've already talked about it, that are readable, that do a lot of the same things repeatedly. And for 100 Thieves, they have a lot of cool options, good game plans with this Omen. In particular, the mid-lurks you can pull off with Cryo there are really nice for the attacking side.
Yeah, especially on the defense where we know 100 Thieves to be really good. They, again, play this double Sentinel comp, and they are able to kind of control the team they're going against, get those rotations in place. And we all know we're going to see some rope plays here. 100 Thieves feel so comfortable on Icebox, so Leviatán's going to have to come in swinging like we know them to do.
I'm looking at Leviatán's retakes again. Earlier this week, it was the defining factor in that game versus MIBR. They're super willing with Harbor Viper to give up that space and charge back in. And they don't always just go for straight up trying to defuse in the cove. They're really willing to bait that cove and push deep. They'll really fight in these post finds. And if you're not ready for it, you'll get overwhelmed by one of the teams that has some of the best trading in our league.
I just wanted to let everyone know real fast that there was just a little bug, just a little bug that not Doug and Balla, but just like a little bug that was affecting one of the PCs on the floor there. We're getting that all sorted out, and then we'll be jumping to the matchup. So for now, we're just going to be hanging out here. That's for you guys in the arena and for those of you watching at home. But let's continue this conversation though, because Riv?
I was just looking, I'm kind of peeking down there on the swing around of the jib, and their 100 Thieves are starting on attack. So actually gonna have to start off fast. This could be pretty bad if they don't get it.
Yeah, and that's a problem because we've been talking about about that quite a bit, Psycho.
That's right, and especially putting, you know, this unorthodox comp with Cryo on the Omen, they lose a bit of that scaling potential that they have with Cryo and the Jet.
On the attacking side versus Fnatic, 100 Thieves got rolled over. They struggle against these retakes, and that's a strength for Leviatán.
All right, folks. Well, Riot Games Arena, let's go ahead and make some noise and get excited because it's time to jump into our first match on this gorgeous Monday. It's, of course, 100 Thieves Leviatán, and on the call, we actually have two people who they don't know this, but they're my new emergency contacts. It's Doug and Baller.
Thank you so much, GB. And yeah, I'm really excited for this game, 100 Thieves with Leviatán. And we got Icebox to start it off. Icebox 0.0.
Heineken 0.0. Icebox.
Heineken.
Hang on. I'm hoping this comes through. Hang on. Everyone, let's
Go
quiet,
for it.
quiet.
Yeah.
We got a little something.
Let's go, baby.
Cheers, my friend.
Drink
Cheers.
responsibly.
We do have Heineken 0.0 Icebox up, as you're saying. Composition differences, Cryo on the Omen, and Don was actually talking about it on the desk. It feels like there's less scaling. Come here, hang on. I want this. Just for a moment. I'll give it back, I promise. Oh, they cut away.
Yeah, we're
unlucky. I'll give it back. I'm sorry. You can have this back now.
Yeah, there's less scaling. I think this entire idea with 100 Thieves, we've seen over and over, the Omen for Cryo. There's ideas with it, but it's so far off the rest of what the team is doing and what the rest of the world is doing in terms of this map. But it worked quite well against EG in the prior week. And honestly, given what we've seen about 100 Thieves' map pool, it might be one of their better maps. So here we go.
100 Thieves on the attacking side. Looks like a little bit of aggression towards mid, and Leviatán's ready for it. They're waiting. They're sending a couple just down cut two themselves.
Huge first two picks right off the bat. And that high tide almost did work for Leviatán, but they've been so good in pistols, and all of a sudden advantage thrown away right off rip.
We'll see how this continues. Leviatán down in numbers, and they're starting to rotate back B, where the aggression is headed from 100 Thieves. Saw the wall from Asuna too, and that's another kill going in favor of the attacking side. This is an excellent start.
It's perfect abusing
Spike planted.
of the Viper wall cycles and fighting in front of it. And I'm wondering if this is the answer and solution against these Viper Harbor comps.
Yeah, just scrap. All right, just fight, get ahead of all the timing.
Flawless pistol. A much better start that we saw for 100 Thieves earlier in the week, and I would say this is for sure their harder matchup. But they struggled against Crew last week, especially on that first map, but you could tell thought went into how they want to approach the map, Vito, given their deficiencies on Ascent that we saw earlier against Crew. But Leviatán now, they do get their Icebox in. This has been a very strong map for them. Honestly, one of their two best. This and Pearl.
It does remind me of a conversation I had with Stellar a little while ago where it was actually right before Brazil, and we were talking about prep into the tournament, and he goes, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. Icebox, you can taste Icebox. We have Asuna, right? Like, he's just so comfortable, and he feels like this map is just a point of strength for their squad. So
Look at the stack, though, here.
excellent start, but as you were just mentioning, Leviatán, they have 4 here, and the 5th is just on the other side.
There's Molly, but it doesn't actually catch anybody.
Just going back and forth, bang on Sweep and Kelly. He's going to get all of them.
We got a very rowdy crowd in here today, just on the anti-eco. But bang, with the Bulldog, one of the best Bulldog players in the league, just consistently relying on, and I love to see the confidence out from him and Asuna so far in these first 2 games. Looking now to see an approach towards A instead of a little bit more of that B default that we started off on.
Revealing.
And see how Leviatán approaches this. It's just the Viper and the Sova. Nosler and King. And their anchors have been really, really solid on this site, able to get one before falling out, but they rely so much on the retake, given the Harbor and the Viper wall cycling that they can rely on.
They just seem so drilled and so confident in those retake situations that you were just referring to, and they're going to get an opportunity at one again. This time, difference out from 100 Thieves.
Look at
it's not as
Cross.
scrappy. They're not going to want to scale, or they don't seem to be as interested in scaling up.
He TP'd up behind this, and that's without giving up noise, but he has to fall off, and Taco punishes him for it.
I mean, he fell off into the next round. Taco with a clean punish, as you were just saying, but the spike planted, so time becomes a factor. Leviatán have to take the aggression here.
Look at Derek and Bang. Duoed up on top of the belt.
Still a molly, still a shock dart. Now both fired.
They're getting through it.
And
He's
it's all
sticking
speed
it.
at this point. He's gotten it to half. But time is short. Excellent timing from Austin is he's going to get another, but it's just not going to be enough. Yeah, 1.5 seconds.
Plenty of time. King stuck through that entire molly, and that's because actually Derek and Bang, I was pointing out the fact that they were up on top of belt, getting ready to combo their shock, the Viper Orb and the mollies together, but they only had one remaining, and I think it was mistimed because they wanted to at least have more time denying the spike rather than more significant spike denial. And that's a scary, scary stat for everybody.
Yeah, that's ominous.
Cheering for 100 Thieves so far. 3-0, Leviatán. Remember that game against Xset?
First real gun round here. And 100 Thieves again, wanting to explore the middle of the map. There's turret that's going to spot some of that action. Or they smoke it off. Oh.
Just
Looks
ahead
like
of
they
it.
were just ahead of it, yeah.
They would have saw it anyways. Shy, looking for a spam. That smoke is giving him a lot of room to do exactly that.
We wondered whether or not it would be in part of the game plan for 100 Thieves to fight ahead of these walls, ahead of this utility that denies vision. And while it seemed like that was going to be the case early on, they have to slow down here a little bit.
I like that from Cryo again. Some signs that you're seeing confidence renewed, and Derek actually finds a pick all the way to Snowman.
On to Taco, too, who's been such a key part of the conversation for Leviatán.
Zeno keeps it
You will not kill my
in their court for now, but Asuna getting the res up real quick. Wondering now, though, how they go and try to take the spike, because there's
30
three
seconds
players
left.
here. It's all going to be on Cryo on this lurk, but that turret's still up from earlier.
Finally cleared. The paranoia is going to hit, too. You still have NCR, who's backside, back Snowman, who has not been cleared.
Look at Shy's discipline there. He gets the first kill off the off angle, and he falls off and doesn't challenge anymore.
Leviatán once again, post-plant positions. This time the Cove to provide a little bit of cover in the swing back yellow. They challenge 100 Thieves. And they walk away with a tremendous amount of success.
That is a beautiful string of pieces of utility there.
It is over.
And a monstrous round from Shy. Holds off on the push through kitchen, denies them from even breaking that turret, which ended up being a costly mistake for Cryo walking through mid. And then he stays alive that entire time.
And crazy too, half a step, right?
Yeah.
Like half a step on that turret at the very beginning of the round. Just wild how timings can have such a drastic impact on the round. Either way, tied at 2 apiece here. Leviatán still with guns, 100 Thieves not with the same amount of bark in this round, but as we've seen before, it's often in 1 hour's weakness. That's the other team's danger, so we'll see how these play out.
They've swapped King and Taco on the A site. So Taco's getting really aggressive here. Austin is trying to hold on.
Does he know? It's just a singer. He didn't know.
Good
Nice
trade.
though.
Spike down.
Derek
A.
was really far away. I'm surprised he's even looking in that direction.
He was ready for it.
And if he didn't trade that, I think Stellar might have gone down too. So things even, but the big tools right now, you're looking at the ults. You got the KJ lockdown, but countered by Derek's Sova ult too. And he just got that online because of that kill.
Yeah, they should be able to upgrade a weapon as well. Remember, Taco's aggression left a Vandal, if I'm not mistaken, right by where Derek is. And yeah, he just picked it up.
No wall though to get this plant, and with those KJ mollies too, that might actually be a more difficult task than you might think. Nice shock, instantly breaking down the alarm bot that he heard get placed but didn't see it.
Plant the spike. 30 seconds left.
Looks like they're trying to ping for smokes, yeah, to come through, so they can go for this plant.
No nowhere to run.
There are not a lot of options where you can play, but Derek goes aggressive.
He's using this before. They still have KJ ult to come back into this. This retake is still super strong.
It looks like they were trying to use it to provide some cover, to create some space for the spike to go down.
And they invest the Viper Spit, but he's gonna get cleared out of this. I don't know about that.
The pit down, the Hunter's Fury wasted. Yeah, the spike planted.
Oh, the TP in! Oh!
It's a 1-for-1, just 2 left on the side of 100 Thieves. 2 might be enough though. They've gotten it to half. It's just onto Derek in this 1v2. He's gonna spot a shoulder. Oh, but the spam's not enough damage. That was so close.
And if he got that faster, he might have been able to take the duel against Shy. That was a cool play. I was questioning. There, they actually wanted that lockdown to come in. That's why Derek put his ult in at the beginning of the round, because they wanted to use the pit, fall off, and have Cryo TP back into it while everybody's low, where Leviatán is going to be swarming inside that pit, knowing that lockdown clears it. A very cool play. And something that Coach Mike is constantly thinking about. How to use these ults effectively, and you remember back at Lock-In, that was one of the key reasons why Fnatic was able to pick them apart, was their ult combinations.
Cheeky little orb denial at the beginning of the round. They still have the Reckoning from Mizuno too. And an op in the hands of Taco, and that's exactly where they're pushing into. He's got the crosshair train. See who he can find, but he has to give the space up.
And remember Asuna here inside this hit. Last time he got picked off first with the guns though. And the Sage Wall now will be able to plant.
Spike planted.
Rio's consistently getting some really nice TPs and angles.
What's funny too is there was conversation around the losing some of the scaling ability with Omen, but it seems like Cryo comfortable enough to go aggressive in those situations. Taco with Blades Online tries to get up high, tries to find something, anything that he can take with him. But it's just space, just tempting wisps of locations. Oh, I thought he was gonna land that, but no, he's punished. Op still in hand. All right, time just slowly ticking away. You see how impressive Harbor can really be. The spam there, he walked right into it. This looks like this is gonna go off. Yes, it is.
And despite the first 2 rounds, Leviatán stringing 3 in a row together. But 100 Thieves finding success in the post plant that is a massive win condition to find some of those early, because Leviatán is so reliant on them. We saw it in the game against MABR. We know the strength of this comp. It's consistently relying on those retakes that gets them wins on Icebox. So 100 Thieves, a couple of really good ideas in a row. Even that last round could have gone their way. I think this is a very promising start.
Aggression from Leviatán. Trying to set Taco up for an early pick. And he wants to go back in.
Oh, Nosworth popping his ult. He actually able to combine that with Taco's aggression and almost finds himself a kill, but instead, Stellar's HP gets healed back up, but the drone coming to find them. Once again, remember that approach from them in the prior. They had 2 people, both Stellar and Bang, lurking up and trying to break that turret.
Oh, all good. Asuna, you can get up there first. Commits to it, put the walls up. Oh, putback hasn't been cleared. Small mistakes there, and King's just gonna have a field day with it as he's dancing around the box looking for the third, not able to do so. Cryo on the trade, Spike still not planted. And it's just sitting up in nest.
Look at that dart, just cleared everything in front of the high tide too. So Mizuno has full comfortability to walk up here and control the spike, which they're not certain is still up there.
This is going to be really difficult for Thieves to get back into. Yeah, the spike getting down in nest made it to where they have to establish so much control around the area to commit to the spike, and they just could not.
And to bring it back to that conversation about scaling, you're seeing Cryo in a lot of these instances when he gets up on TPs, he has to TP back out or fall off as the retake begins because of the utility, and he's the only one to receive. In that instance right there, we saw it was Asuna in that same position after he went for the wall plant up and nest. And there's nobody to support, nobody able to even trade.
Early timeout called. What a 1-round lead for Leviatán. Early though, you were just saying this a couple moments ago, Bala. It really does feel like a promising start for both teams. It feels like they're pushing each other just the right places, and they're committing to their game plans, and it's matching up quite well.
And there's ideas on both sides too. Ones that we haven't quite seen.
Nice, we got a Hiko sign.
He's still on the team. I'm loving what we're seeing out of both of these teams. In specific, Leviatán fighting in the difference in that last one, where King is actually anchoring on the site. And he finds 2. He could have found 3. He could have ended the round by himself.
Yep. I thought he was going to.
And I think that's kind of a reason why you actually see Asuna or Cryo in the site by themselves, is because Leviatán has been so known to play these retakes. Now, because King does that one round, you can no longer do that the rest of the game. So that's going to be a conversation that they had in that timeout. And King, I think for the rest of the game, is probably going to be happy to start falling off the site a lot more. And they've broken the economy of them again.
Here.
With no huge ults online for the next little bit, although Stellar and Asuna close.
I don't know that drone's going to get far enough with Kerbeck Yellow, but either way, Taco ahead of it, tried to land something
Love that.
early.
Huge wide swing there from Taco after the drone has gone some distance, where the drone is starting to clear underneath them and not ahead of them.
Toxin screen down.
It's a great idea. Oh, not able to execute the first time. Dang. I thought he was going to keep going.
Has to hide in the smoke now, though. And we've seen 100 Thieves be so aggressive here. Past this Viper wall before.
Spike planted.
There it is. There's the aggression you were just alluding to. Bang swinging around. Cryo with another. This is a light gun round for 100 Thieves.
And Taco has an op, too. And they've got full control of the site. This duel.
Cryo just upgraded a weapon as well. Oh, the timing is everything.
Asuna on the reflank, though. They have so much control. 100 Thieves has this round locked up. I think Leviatán is starting to look to save, actually.
Yeah, take that op into the next round. Taco has nothing currently as far as credit goes.
And it's crazy because if you think about that smoke that got put down when the crowd that you hear right now is getting very scared for King's timing. If that Omen wasn't being played,
Thrifty.
then they wouldn't have had a spot to hide from King, and that could have been a 2K, instantly a 3v3. Wow. Quick timeout from 100 Thieves earlier, but we just had this, so Owner is livid about what he just saw.
There's something he didn't like, that's for sure.
And you know, that Owner has such a focus on eco rounds, on bonus rounds, on these rounds that teams deem a little bit less important to practice. Love to see what he's trying to talk about right now in this timeout, because it's a clear thing that needs to be fixed, that needs to be covered up. And I think that's now 3 rounds that 100 Thieves has had the opportunity to push past the Viper wall with those Omen smokes. Cryo's doing a great job in this map so far.
Plenty of reasons to cheer, really, for both squads. But you're right, I think there's something about how, especially in these scrappy rounds, man, like 100 Thieves are comfortable even with the lighter buy to just go at Leviatán.
I think one of the interesting things about the way that these 2 matches earlier in the Super Week went for 100 Thieves, went for Leviatán, there were stark differences. Leviatán stomped MIBR. They didn't even have a challenge. Whereas 100 Thieves had to come back after a stomp of their own. And it was not pretty, but this look that we're seeing is certainly playing back up to the expectation that everybody had. And they need to start having this over and over, game after game. They don't have room to start slow.
I don't think they know that Taco got up to nest. They might suspect it given all of the utility that was dumped.
Oh, but even worse, I think that drone gives Taco a false sense of security about what's going on Bell, but with all that Guardian spam, should be much happier. Nozer's trying to cover him right now.
Dude, King has been cold, man.
King has always been cold. He's one of the highest rated players in the Americas League as the IGL.
Second cascade used from Azino, a little bit of spam through the wall. It's just enough to delay 100 Thieves for now.
And remember, those cascades are a little bit more effective right now because they've already used that drone, but Derek comes through, darts up, and that allows them to get the res back online. Dart here, oh my goodness, Nosra, there's a scan. Look at the idea there. Nosra's at mid, he's at boiler right now, and he throws that dart for them. A hard one to break, too. Lands right on top of the 100 Thieves players right now, and they've actually whittled this time down to 30 seconds. This pit as well is going to keep them out.
Preemptive too. Realizing the time is of the essence.
For a snowman plant.
Have to go fast. They put the pit down. They try to get off the wall to provide some cover too. Mizzino gets spammed through it all.
My ultimate is ready.
Oh, this is super interesting because the lockdown is now available. He puts it back yellow, which actually does cover the plant, whereas the regular space would have not covered the plant. Leviatán has no real room to work into right now, and they're giving up the pit. I think this is another save.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Look at how far up 100 Thieves are. There's just no room for Leviatán to work. They're daring him to challenge. They're daring him to swing. Egged on a little bit, but he landed the shot anyway.
And Nosra fell too. This battle is consistent at the end of the round when these B takes come in, and that's a huge success. I think Owner is going to be really unhappy about that, and obviously he's not going to want to use his timeout in this first half. Because I'm sure that's exactly what they just talked about was how that B hit. And I think everything that led up to that was to plan. They got them with 20 seconds. They had a pit going down. It's just the last consideration. They missed that one. And it all falls to pieces.
See that early aggression spotted. Early on, they spotted Taco. They spotted NZR. He had to back up. Now using a drone of his own, his 100 Thieves want to take this a bit more pacey. I don't know what kind of delay there is for them to have to dance around. Rasmus is getting on top. What a cheeky wall! But an excellent response from NZR. In the face of the reckoning. Stellar with nothing to do. Derek as well. NZR just needs one.
Shadows traveling. See if you can give the LATAM fans what they want. Not quite, but the round win will suffice. 5-5, they even things back up. And I'm not even sure who's in control of this game right now. There's so much successes on both sides. I'm looking at Leviatán and that B site hold. Surprised to see 100 Thieves go away from it, but I like the cheeky attempt from Asuna to really open up that round. But on that B side, I'm thinking one more little fix from Leviatán, and all of a sudden they're holding that site. Hundred Thieves need to keep up the aggression in these post plants because it's working so beautifully.
Yeah, that has been a key to success for them for sure. Oh, he heard that. He saw that.
Yeah, but
he
this is too much. Oh, no, it's not. Left him. And they dink Derek too. That is a huge success. I thought King was gonna die there for sure, but nobody is ready to swing through that high tide. Bang wanted to, but you could tell Derek was hesitant. Even though that would have saved Cryo, that Cryo's a pivot point for them. They are able to move around the map because of his omen. Losing him, you all of a sudden can't do what has been so successful for you on this B side. Just pushing into the site itself or into the spawn even.
Yeah, the only agent on that side with any sort of utility like that.
Derek has been so good at responding in situations like this.
Take flight.
And they've given up space to plant here. Austin's getting the wall down, and the high tide even covers him even if the wall falls. And that high tide is not going to be available for the re-hit once this lockdown comes up from Shy. They need to get aggressive.
That should counter Derek's ult as soon as it goes down. but you kind of put him in a tough spot, right? Do you commit to the ult or do you commit to the defuse? They do clear out the ult, but the space has been taken by Leviatán. Mazzino's already gotten on the tap, and he's got a cove. There's going to be a swing out from the defensive side. That's going to keep them at bay for now. A 1-for-1 quickly turns into a 2v2. NCR on the tap. The shot dart screaming by his face. The dart in front of him as well. They've got to take the fight, and they do.
My goodness. Talk about down to the wire. Talk about
Last round before
getting yourself back into this. 100 Thieves fighting, but Leviatán even more. This opening was huge from them. This is not the type of advantage you've seen so far in this game based off these aggressive plays. Normally, Taco is getting traded. And actually, thinking back to that Taco round, that was Derek again. Derek in this round was such a beast. I can't believe he got the Hunter's Fury off on the lockdown and then instantly spammed down Taco. The awareness on this guy is insane. He's playing at a level he hasn't shown yet at this Americas League.
Leviatán are so committed to this early A aggression. But once again, it seems like 100 Thieves sniffing some of it out, want to go aggressive into that. They've already established control of the site.
Welcome to my world.
Hit back up two, no key ults to force him out. No drone from Noswar either.
Looks like it's going to be a 5v5 close plan to clear out the half, and we wouldn't have it any other way. First couple of kills going in favor of Leviatán.
Player standing.
It all falls onto Asuna. Oof, that was so clean.
I mean, just the spray through that all is ridiculous. Blink and you missed it. I think Asuna there too. Coming out of the pit, all of a sudden he is losing track of what's actually happening on that wall. And so he pays for it.
You see how proficient they are in their retakes. A belligerently bellicose brawl for Leviatán. They walk away with the round win in their area that they're comfortable. So clean. A 7-5 half in favor of Leviatán. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break down the first half.
Thank you so much, fellas. And I gotta say, this is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a great game. I wanted two fantastic teams really just slugging it out, and that's exactly what we're getting here, Riv.
I think 100 Thieves has a better start than they could have hoped for already on this. The 5 is good enough. If their defense is the way 100 Thieves plays defense, I think they had really good reads towards the mid, covering any of the lurks that Leviatán would have had, but they still couldn't stop a few of those Leviatán retakes.
Yeah, this was a game that was defined by adaptation, but also by the retakes. What we expected coming into this match is rounds like this one, where 100 Thieves would lose an early advantage and would be allowed to get this spike plant down. You can see that for Leviatán. They're playing super far back. They actually replace the turret in the mid round, which spots out Cryo. When he goes for this lurk a little bit too early, he gets punished for that. And then Leviatán's shrink back together. They don't overcommit to fight off that kill. Instead, they continue to play together and work back into this retake to eventually win it with some great util combos back yellow and Shy popping off. But the thing is, they were only 5 in 10 in retakes, which is still great. But 100 Thieves realized the adaptation they needed to make. They started fighting deep in these post plants, making changes to the way that they were playing, which meant they got a far stronger half. And the ability to make that adaptation gives me confidence in 100 Thieves.
We also have the timeout wars coming out within the rounds between round 8 and the next round, where it's just like, no, you want to see owner make a change to the team rather, and they did it pretty quick.
It makes me wonder how, like, you know, I think about like the way the 100 Thieves are kind of like changing their game plan. You can even see it. There was one round where like they pushed into A but didn't clear the back. It's like they're little things that like they're not doing, but it's still better than what we saw in the past on their attacking. I felt like they were a little bit more confident.
I concur with that. 100 Thieves, it seems like the confidence is back for this team. In the second half now, it's going to continue to be defined by these retakes. Watch for Cryo's Omen and the way he uses smokes when they're retaking space and that paranoia. 100 Thieves is good at it, but Leviatán, they have that structure and they're up at the half.
It's going to be an excellent second half. Let's send it back over to Doug and Bala.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Yeah, we can only hope that it's going to be an excellent closing to the half, because the first half delivered in ways that we're all pleasantly surprised with. But yeah, a 2-round lead for Leviatán Bala, and now Mimi was talking about it a little bit. Very curious to see how Cryo on the Omen plays these retake chaotic situations where he can teleport into smokes and just cause chaos.
And you know there's ideas. We've seen it over and over again for them. That's the strength of this comp. And we actually saw some more ideas for him on the attack than I think we've seen so far from their icebox approaches, so I'm wondering if they've even developed even further. It's slow from Leviatán. Cautious. Taka leading the charge with the Sheriff. And the timing on the wall is perfectly proactive.
All of that utility that you have to navigate around. It really just feels like an icebox. No area is safe. Stellar on the swing. Taco tried dashing forward, but he just falls. Fortunate timing for Stellar. King still trying to dance around backside.
They're holding screens for so long with these.
And then a frenzy on the other side. So well done.
Beautiful approach from Leviathan. Quiet. But then the High Tide gains them the sight. And Mazzino didn't even buy his Cove in that pistol round. He bought double Cascade. And we saw in the earlier game on Icebox from them and Loud, the ideas on these pistols, how the Cove, you would think it's so strong given the HP, and against pistols it's taking a long time to break down, but no, they're the extra scaling. The extra step for them allows that post plant to be strong. So like we expected the retakes to be good for them, we expect those post plants too. Even though in the first half they might be in the lead, but their retakes, they were actually not playing so well on them. We saw at the half 5 for 10 in comparison to that MIBR game. Drastic difference. They were almost perfect.
Ult going over, or Ult Orb, excuse me, going over to Mazzino. Now just 3 points away from the Reckoning. Very clearly a point of their early plans. 100 Thieves look like they want to go aggressive. They've already scaled 2 past 410, trying to clear things out. An exploratory mission, perhaps.
What a difference in pace for both of these teams. You can tell it's 2 different teams on the attack side right now. 100 Thieves is trying to feel out exactly when this hit is going to come through, but they aren't able to gamble fast enough. Banks still gets the molly off, though, and that could deny for quite some time.
So you see the efficacy of this double wall comp from Leviatán. That harbor wall is a little bit deeper, and it's just so much more difficult to deal with.
The second step again. Follow-up Cascade on Snowman, and this is what 100 Thieves did to them, but Leviatán is just interested in that original duel, and then they follow up, and look at that Cove as well to allow them to fall back. It's really nicely considered. Although it might give space for 100 Thieves in the future rounds to actually fall through that. Bang with a nice pick. They're on the tap.
It's just another trade. Whoa, Derek gets so far up. They lose a couple of weapons, but Leviatán get through the round nonetheless.
And you can paint a different picture when you start to think about the way that this score is developed. And given the fact that 100 Thieves won that pistol, won the anti-eco in that first round, Leviatán has been strong. If that wasn't the case, we might be looking at 11-3 scoreline instead.
One enemy remaining.
So now 100 Thieves has to do what Leviatán did in that first half and clap back strongly here. Get a string of rounds. Otherwise, we're looking at a required comeback of them. Pacey, though.
Very pacey, and Austin is there to greet. But it's traded back. They had everyone here. Austin, a bang, cryo. And that's enough to give them numbers advantage late in the round.
Just Noswer in this bonus is doomed to fail. Just the Bulldog, but Arcane Sheriff in hand. Can he find a little bit more damage and make the next round even more difficult? Yeah, spots the Vandal. Looking to possibly save even. Get one orb. The A orb actually might be open too. I think he's definitely looking to save at this point. 50 seconds. Can he find even an opening though? Looking to see if there's any mistakes given by 100 Thieves, but it doesn't look like it. Derek is droning, darting, daring Noswer to peek into him.
Oh,
30 seconds left.
Oh, there's a gap. 25 seconds, and it's pulling rotations, actually. It's pulling rotations. Noswer has a chance all of a sudden.
My, my, my. What have we here?
All right, guys, don't try to give it up. Come on now.
Revealing area.
10 seconds left.
He's going to get the spike down.
despite distractions. Nas were now eyes on the prize, 1v2 against Stellar and Bang.
While 100 Thieves try to cauterize what's happened before them, they're both going to swing out together. Stellar on the tap, Bang close by. Nasr from up top. They lined up for just a moment, but Bang stops it. That's about as much value as you could possibly get out of that round if you're NZR, though.
Oh, for sure. Getting one gun down. Getting the plant as well. I thought about the idea of going for the A orb, but the plant will suffice. They get money into this, and this follow-up round is almost as difficult in a lot of instances as the bonus is itself. So 100 Thieves now, they're the ones who have the economic disadvantage in some sense. And Mazzino, he's got that reckoning. It's harder to use Bang's ult in a more obvious position, and Mazzino can cancel it out even if he does. He's gonna use it immediately at the beginning of this round. Leviatán not giving up on that fast pace that earned them a punish in that last round.
Taco can try to hunt Bang here with the Qs from the Reckoning to get the pit out, yeah. Instant
Cancel of Bang's ult. That's what I was talking about, how reactive you can be as Mazzino, whereas Bang can be less so. Oh, this is a deep harbor wall. Cove again, not used yet.
Not yet, but a second cascade up. Mazzino giving some of the space back. Once again, another 5v5 post plant.
Doc Molly coming in. Taco's got to be careful. A little bit of damage done, but not too much.
They're just trading everything here. But it looks like the opening's going in favor of Leviatán, but the volley for Bang! That's once again in a 1v2. Austin has already gotten it to half. He's just gonna stick it the whole way. There's no dare, there's no challenge. The swing was late.
What will it be this time?
And the score will be just in time, swinging in the other direction. There's a 4-round streak for Leviatán in the first half. 100 Thieves are looking to match that and tie this game up when all is said and done. What a stick. What a play. What a reply.
Guardian in the hands of Derek. You've got the res for Austin as well. Perhaps want to play around that, maybe get something early, but no, it seems like they're comfortable playing with 4 on A. A bit passively as well. That paranoia from Cryo was good. Look at how far up he's gone. Look at how far up he's gone!
This one way is absolutely brutal. Leviatán looked lost running through it. I mean, every single player from Leviatán tried to get through. What has happened to their game plan? Leviatán is normally so pliable with it, but here, steadfast in their approach. It's so aggressive in the last 3. For what reason? Relying on the shift of pace to try to catch 100 Thieves off guard, and that's not working. Stellar fully understanding this situation, his players step up to the plate.
They do have on the side of Leviatán the lockdown in the 100 Fury.
Look at these aggressive Omen smokes. Crime in the last one went top belt. This time he smokes off the right side and TP's belt instead. So much misdirection from him in this original early round approach.
Austin is tucked. Man. They've tried a couple of times now to go really aggressive on both sides, honestly. They want to continue to brawl.
Down A.
Dude, he got, again, that gen angle and found Mazzino, so the harbor gone, and that's the plant idea. And all of a sudden, you need to rely on some of this extremity. Watch some of the pressure coming down mid. Shy is going to duel with Bang.
Or is he just gonna walk back? He got spotted.
He got tagged from the bottom of tube there by that drone.
To even have the wherewithal to check that. Knowing there was a turret in kitchen. Just so well done by defense side.
And you don't have the fallback options here from King, so gotta take the duels and win them.
30 seconds left.
Stella's pre-firing that.
Cloudburst will help a little, but Taco has to find more value out of his blades. Oh my gosh, Taco!
What?
That was pure filth! And that might have won them the round. But Derek's clutch.
Look at this crossfire.
Derek's cold. And he's once again in a 1v2.
Sova's been asked to put up so much work, and it's a missed dart.
Making things a little bit more difficult. The second tap. Oh, the Hunter's Fury, he got that out. Oh, I thought he was gonna get the kill. Second pulse on the Hunter's Fury never comes. They're just gonna challenge him directly. That was so clean from Leviatán. The timing on that crossfire at the end was gorgeous.
Surprised that Noswar actually was able to escape. Looked like his foot was gonna show and cost him his life and allow that duel. But even then, Taco Leah was in such a position that couldn't really be hit. I love that. So insane from Taco. He gets the first kill on that one on Asuna. Back over towards A. And you can tell when the pace has shifted, Leviatán is very happy to play within. 100 Thieves don't get quite that 4-round streak that Leviatán did. And now Derek is actually in a tough spot. That's a little bit of weird buy, a mismatch of choices here. Asuna full buys, but Derek doesn't.
You should run.
Stellar's alarm bot is close by. You wonder here if they do want to commit to this B after having invested the lockdown to rotate back A. That's another bit of investment. That harbor wall is going to be difficult to get through.
Taco is way too consistent with that. Asuna and the rest of 100 Thieves has that in the strat book, and they just spam it down behind the high tide.
Keeping the Cove again. Oh! And that may have cost Mazzino his life.
Even without that, that's slow. And the Molly just biting into him. 3v5, but they still have the pit up here. This is not a done deal.
Cryo on the flank. The rest of 100 Thieves up front, 2 back yellow. Derek the first to fall, but Cryo on the trade. That flank could be good. Asuna's gonna keep it in the face of the spam. Cryo's timing cracks the round open.
Fast response. And this game is still so close. Heroics on both sides. This one, though, comes down to that game plan, comes down to that anti-stratting from 100 Thieves. In the past, it's been a prep-heavy team, but we don't quite know how to characterize this 100 Thieves team this year here in LA. And there you saw it.
One-round lead here for Leviatán. It does seem like 100 Thieves have come into this with a little bit more swagger to them, and perhaps it's in the face of ideas or whatever it is that's gotten them to this point. But they're much more confident, it seems like, in taking these early fights. And the truth is, you have your star players delivering when you need them to as well.
Yeah. Bang, 19 and 13. Always such a strong force on this map. Cryo delivering and looking more comfortable than ever on this Omen. I think everybody was wondering and asking, because I think they changed their opinion and shifted and said Asuna has to have good games based off of the way that he came alive and saved the game for them against Crew. But that's not how this team is built. But still, right here, performing. Shock Molly, Mazzino's dead!
Gorgeous setup. And they may find more!
King's going through, though. Oh.
Screen down.
Thought the Cascade might leave a little sooner than that. And we did have a Vandal invested in this round from Leviatán. Noswar with it now, but look at 100 Thieves. Just back all the way up, and this is giving King the room to go for something, but it's not too much.
So disciplined by 100 Thieves. And understanding that Leviatán had light buy. Yeah, not even able to keep that weapon. A flawless round as we're tied at 10.
Temptation for Leviatán constantly to trance through all the utility that 100 Thieves is putting through on them at the beginning of the round, and it's hurting them. I think on both the anti-ecos, they really haven't had a solid approach at all. That one was out of the timeout, so they knew, they had a call for it. And I think you see all their players really buying into it and going for it. But there has to be room to pivot. And after losing those first two, and even given what 100 Thieves did, the shock molly not even considered.
Reckoning takes the space. And the high tide secures it.
Yes, they can take the site, but they need to not lose anybody. Leviatán, it's been over and over. They get spammed.
And you see some of the damage.
Oh, Shorty.
He just can't see anything, man. Protected by the cone for just a moment. Taco going aggressive, spamming right into Taco. Now 3 spotted, one of them lit up. You see them all running away. Utility use Shy once again. Spotted and lit up.
Oh.
Trying to get away. Bang is aggressive on this.
King, he's got
just gonna hold it the whole way.
How does that happen? Letting them hear how they feel about that Red Bull clutch. Derek sticks his way through. And Leviatán, there are moments here where you look like, and you ask, are they kicking themselves for some of these mistakes? Because it feels like they're compensating in some cases. This one, they walk into the pit, they plant inside the pit. King is running around with this molly. We're into the next round. Hold up, look at this flank. King is already up mid.
Stellar's ready for it, but King already finds value. Derek and Stellar on the high-low. Derek ahead of it. Stellar ahead of it, excuse me, and he falls.
And they've cracked the round right open. Simply by King. Taco ended up dashing top tube at the beginning of this round. And King used that time to pressure walk through his orb. And there haven't been many pieces of utility covering in that position, even though they haven't even been pressuring mid too often. So maybe Stellar starts to take his alarm bot and put it back towards A.
Right there.
Either way, Leviatán, first round where it feels like they have an advantage on this attack side when they plant the spike. They've been able to quite frequently.
Walls up.
There's money for 100 Thieves, so I imagine they're gonna go for this one. Maybe if you catch something early with the drone, you go for it, but either way, it looks like they do want to scale forward. Derek with the dart. Instantly cleared out. No info given over. I mean, not a crumb. First shock dart off of the alarm bot being cleared. Now Derek on the tap. Moving forward, a clean snap. But it's a 1v3, and he can't pull that one off. Tied at 11 again.
Looking at the economy, 100 Thieves in very good position. Leviatán as well, so it's going to be a brawl to close out this game. Somebody needs to win. 2 more in a row.
One enemy remaining.
Leviatán looking for their 3rd to close out this game. It's a timeout for 100 Thieves, and the ults are stacked. We've got a full house.
Just a couple moments left in this timeout as you see both coaches talking over the situation. It does not seem like either team is willing to really take a step back, right? They're so committed to their plans. You can tell they want to fight early. And that's been probably the funnest part of this map ball, is that they're just going at each other. They're just continuing to clash early in the rounds.
Yeah. I think Leviatán has been a little over eager on that. You could tell. some of the approaches when they're slow. I mean, their players are hitting shots. Mazzino is looking very snappy. It's just in some cases he doesn't get in position to hit those shots.
But then there are other rounds like the previous one where King goes aggressive up mid, he finds a ton of value, and they find themselves in a 4v2.
Those ones are where they're abusing more of the gaps that can be created with the aggressiveness and not just barreling up one side, but looks like it might be that same idea. Look at this weird setup for Stellar, actually. Alarm bot 2 mollies on the left side. They're expecting something cheeky here from Leviatán when it comes to this A hit. But also, he's holding space for that lockdown because there's no counter right now for Nosworth. There is an orb for him to pick up to get the Hunter's Fury. I wonder if 100 Thieves have considered that.
My ult is ready.
There's the orb. There's the ult. Like you just mentioned, that was
Derek
early.
Oh, he's gonna catch Nosworth. He's gonna catch him.
Oh, he didn't land it.
And Nosworth had to cancel it though.
Now Stellar's lockdown can go through without any challenge. Another 5v5, another brawl.
Not yet.
In these post-plant situations, Spike ticking away, the spam through as the dart lights up. Mazzino feeling the pressure every which way it possibly can come, and he's gonna get the stick once again. Oh, he got more than half though. But the job is not done. Bang, gonna attempt to do what Asuna cannot, and he does! Another defuse taken away when Leviatán has 4 alive!
Oh, no for Negro! Oh my goodness, if Taco went down, they might not even be able to scrape together a buy. That is 3 rounds now where 100 Thieves have just stuck the spike. The post plant is getting absolutely demolished by Leviatán right now. 100 Thieves with a game plan to rip apart the retakes in that first half, and now the post plants in this second.
They're just so confident in the face of the chaos.
I suggest you move.
Early reckoning. Very early. They're looking for it again. Cryo's gonna ult to join the fray and join the spam, but there's nobody in position right now. Mazzino's actually avoiding that shock dart with a nice plant.
You should run.
Nothing to counter the lockdown this time around. King 1 point away from his pit. He gets something cheeky here. He can drop that and potentially secure the round.
This is significant. The time bought here. 100 Thieves starts the retake a lot earlier. Asuna's still with the wall. They have a res too. This post plant might end up being successful just because of that extra time bought.
It's going to be chaos yet again. Another 5v5.
They're pushing, they're pushing.
Everything's spamming through. Stellar's gotten through with it. As you see the shock darts, you see the utility, but Mazzino's got behind enemy lines. King's gonna have to hold it on his own. He's gotten 1. The time is short. He's got to hold it. He's got to hold it. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! A Red Bull clutch, and we're going to overtime.
Switching sides.
By the skin of his teeth. 1v3.
Standing.
And the slow was just misplaced. If that slow was in position, I think both these players get these kills. King is cold, and he does it again. Brings it to OT. We've seen him do that so many times.
What a way to start off the day, huh?
Nice Heineken Icebox 0.0. Celebratory one, too. You might not get to see this map too much longer. Served us well in instances like this. OT. First of its kind, and Taco getting aggressive.
Last cannon down low.
They swap sides, remember.
I don't remember him holding this angle before. He did plenty of aggressive things on the defensive side towards A, but never quite like this.
That was always on top of Belt, now below. See how far 100 Thieves protocols go.
You gotta be careful if you're Taco here. No armor.
I have the spike.
Backside up, keeps the op.
Deploying drone.
You see the pings on the minimap. It seems like they do want to end A. The drone to clear the way. Taco spotted. Does he have dash? Yeah, he does. It's procced. In the face of the paranoia, he gets away.
This tag there from Nosworth. But the dart does connect. And that counter molly for the nest plant does shift the perspective for 100 Thieves right now, facing down this post plant. Remember, Leviatán strong on retakes, but it wasn't that great in the first half. Here we go.
I hope you guys like 5v5 post plants, because we're getting another one. Derek down low, taking 2 down with him.
Cryo's position, obscured by his one-way.
Bang's backing on up. He has 2 mollies, too. Once again, that is a part of the play. Taco's up, done. And now Shy having to navigate all that. Timing is kind to him. As Shy goes aggressive with the knife out. He manages to get the fight, and Stellar wins it. 100 Thieves, map point.
Switching sides. Match point.
My goodness. This game is ridiculous.
One enemy remains.
Cryo with the reposition underneath. We didn't see on that first half him have any success with those aggressive TPs. There, he had one. And there, they didn't push him off because he was well safe. That's the adjustment they made coming in the overtime. That scares me. Leviatán. They struggled a little bit more on the attack side. But it's a much more spread default this time. But look at 100 Thieves, aggressive down mid.
King's ready for it.
Not this angle, though.
That's all right. It works out anyway. He's expecting more. But there's a crossfire. Shy. Oh, he's tempted to swing. Spots just the shoulder. Now position given away. And yeah, Cryo's going to be able to get out, but they're leaving Asuna here. Oh, the wall.
Allows him to cross back.
Yeah, but now he's not going to have it for later in the round.
Yeah, and we've seen how that's been a critical part on their retakes. Doug, that's a good call. The key part, too, is they have gotten already one of the retake mollies down in the sense of King. I'm wondering now, Mazzino's high tide comes back up. Will we see one of those aggressive pushes from Leviatán in the post plant that we've seen in the pistol? Because of that lack of extra post plant from King. The IGL dead now calling for his team. 20 seconds left. What's the plan to stay alive in this game?
The dart early, Taco dashing back. They use the Cove as cover.
We're staying up. Taco staying up. Everybody staying up.
4v4 is now time becomes a factor. 100 Thieves looking to put Leviatán away in this opening best of 3. Bang gets tagged, Bang gets dropped as Taco looking for more. And he may find it. No, Stellar's on the trade. And now Stellar's left in this 1v3. 26 rounds, not enough to decide who walks away with Icebox.
Switching sides. Overtime.
I don't think it's even close to enough. These teams look so neck and neck right now.
Enemy remaining.
That's not what we would have expected at the beginning of today. Leviatán, while they've struggled a little bit so far in this season, some of their games have looked so clean. For example, earlier in the week against MIBR. And against NRG too. 100 Thieves giving us a new look right now.
At just the right time too. Against a formidable foe in Leviatán. Reset OT once again. 100 Thieves on the attack. Oh, there is a glass cannon out for Taco again.
This time he's on that top yellow position. He's thrived from there in the past. King, for some reason, it's classic out. Just getting that extra speed on the jiggle. Not even attempting to take that fight. The drone's coming in at an opportune time right now. King might decide to fight with those mollies. Remember that round he had as the anchor.
There it is. That first molly's popped. Dodges a paranoia. Okay, is he going to find another multi-kill here? Second molly backing on up.
Great high tide timing.
Luring 100 Thieves and walking into his lap, and it's another attempt at one. Only one, though.
30 seconds left.
3v2, numbers advantage for the defense. A spike out of reach for now.
Cascade keeping him back to, if no real way to approach until that falls. Oh. Banger's going for the plant. Nobody's challenging him right now, even though Stellar was on the opposite side.
Are they gonna get aggressive here? This is a high-low that's so difficult to deal with.
And Stellar's too slow to regroup with Bang there. They wanted to go aggressive, you're right. But for the first time now, Leviatán with a match point and advantage in the second overtime.
What a freaking banger of a map, man.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, I was just a little behind him. Well done by Leviatán to hold that high-low and swing out together.
Those are the types of things that we are seeing over and over from this team. Fundamentally good setups and approaches to everything, where the spacing and trust is so sublime.
Yo, Mimi was right. You guys are quick. I just saw that on Twitter yesterday.
I know, that was
night.
like last night. Where is that coming from?
Oh, who knows, man. Late timeout call. Leviatán on map point. And we'll see what 100 Thieves do to trade back.
Mike has done a formidable job on this map in preparation for Leviatán. So to have his input right now, it's crucial. Whereas a coach with as much of a resume as owner, that experience difference between the two coaches is something to keep an eye out for the rest of the series, and how they've prepped and how they're able to adjust throughout. I would give credit to both sides throughout this game so far.
1000% agree. It may show cracks as the series goes on, but in this first map, you wouldn't think that there's a gap in experience for sure.
I think for me, especially if 100 Thieves lose their grip on this map in particular, it's going to be much, much easier to look at. See how the mentals shift. For right now, though, they have an opportunity to keep this. Icebox going a little longer.
No op on the defense. Cryo once again without one way. And he ripped Leviatán to shreds with earlier. Same angle as well. He's up. Have they solved a way to get around this? Will cause him so many troubles before they do. They succeed.
Remember, 2 early picks. Every time they've gotten these massive advantages early, it's been easy for them to convert. Derek, though, gonna try to have it. Something to say about that.
Patient, too, choosing not to spam out the cove. And that's what allowed him to kill onto Taco. Now we're equalized again. A 3v3. Spike in the hands of Messino. Derek sold. Oh, but he's caught with the utility out. And now Stellar in this 1v3. Can Leviatán hold this down? They get the spike planted. The swing out is great. It's gorgeous as Leviatán take map 1.
Again, the coordination there from the 2 Leviatán players there left in the end. Wait till the spike is planted and double swing. And you actually can break down this game to multiple 2v2 situations that go the distance. And how Stellar and Bang slightly miscoordinated on their double swing. Trying to hold in that last round. In this case, Leviatán players just so clean when it comes to those specific little details. What a game. What a start to a series that I think people had little expectations for, but Americas constantly swaps what we think about, even in terms of power for these teams.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think this map would be this close at all. I'll be honest with you.
This was a powerhouse for Leviatán, but then again, powerhouse for 100 Thieves. Just, we thought there was a bit of a gap between the two teams.
Maybe not map specific, but in general, you're right. I would agree with that. And 100 Thieves showed that, I mean, they can still hang, man. They can still hang with the best. We'll see the closing moments of this map. Once again, Leviatán take down 100 Thieves in overtime, 15-13. Haven on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
He is currently unstoppable. He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo.
Hey guys, it's Ye. Welcome to my course on optimal Valorant training. I'm going to be demonstrating now some angle clearing. I'll slowly come around the corner as well, making sure no one's on these off angles.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.